Hello, this is Rohit Jilla, and here I am to show you my Redis Hackathon submission. Let's go through the submission. So this is actually the application is called ShortCut. So it is a blazingly fast URL shortener as service. So what stands it out from the rest of the URL shortening service is the speed at which it redirects a user and the analytics which it provides. Now, you may think oh, how is this possible to redirect a user faster than we anticipate or faster than the other tools and services that are already existing in the market? Now, here it uses Redis, which is an in-memory database, and it's like very, very fast. We know it's like a key value database and all those things, which is really great. Now, what we do is when a user wants to short a URL, they would create a short link, and that we would store in our database. Along with storing in our database, you also store it in our Redis database. Now, what is Redis database? So Redis database, so we also call it as Redis stack. It's like Redis JSON, Redis search, Redis Bloom, and Redis graph. So namely, we use Redis JSON and Redis search in the application here, which is also very interesting. And also the Redis stack is very accessible to use using Redis Cloud. And there's also a wonderful Redis Insight tool with which you can visualize your data in a better way. This is not only connected to only one Redis Cloud. Note that this is a tool which you can connect to any Redis database, which is pretty awesome to have. So shout out for Redis for that, for making such an awesome tool. Coming to web application, the stack for the web application is based on T3 stack, which is Nextauth, Next.js for the web application, Nextauth for the authentication, TRPC for the routing and APIs, and Tailwind for the CSS style. And I also use Prisma to connect it to the database. So here I use PlanetScale database as a secondary database, and primary would be the Prisma to get and all very fast ones. So we could try for example, like let us try to create a URL. Say for example, I want to create this URL and I want to say it is a Python slug. Okay. When I create a URL, it creates very fast. Okay. And even if you see here right now, I'm sorry, not this. Go to database. I just made it small to make it visually. Yeah. So let me refresh the data. It refreshed now, and here you go. So this one, if you see the slug is Python and it just created. This is translated roughly right now. You just see how fast it was created, and it's very small key size, and it's amazingly fast. Okay, and now when I copy, I get the link. Now's the time. Okay, I paste the link. Oh, yeah, I mean, I just had issue with the URL, but you see how fast the redirect was found. I mean, the URL is not working, functioning right now. Maybe I'll just create another GitHub URL. But if you see, it's very fast, right? And let us also check another way, the how it's created, right? It's very fast, like Python, GitHub, maybe something like that. It got created. I just copy it, and when I refresh, it's over here, the new one, Python GitHub, and I go to the Python GitHub. It's redirected at the same time. It also added analytics. So I mean, like, oh, what is this analytics that has been added, right? Now, if you see analytics copy, when you go to analytics tools, this might not have the great analytics because it just got created and only one view, something like that. Yeah, it's only one view. But if you see other pages which have been in the production for quite some time, when I click on analytics for this, it's a 10 page views, and the best part is how the graph looks. It's like very very like very rough sketch, but it's like appealing to the eyes, and it looks great. And so this graph, the future scopes are these can be like exported, and you can also export to be your favorite types like Excel sheet for the number of things. And also future scope is like we can also have a graph where it shows when is the time the user is most actively clicking the links or something like that. So that is cool. And there's also other way. So Re- one thing is Redis is as it might be simple, but it's a bit expensive and it grows a bit. So what we can also do is, which is in also in the future scope loop is releasing this as a software as service where if user wants a blazingly fast analytics also, so uh, they could get it, but that would be chargeable because that I would be saving directly in the Redis itself. So the get would be like pretty like it would be very fast. Like user just clicks on it, they would see the analytics and all, which is pretty great, right? So yeah, so this is something which is really cool to have and a very large scope, and it scales automatically. It uses all serverless functions, so its scalability is not a question here. And coming to the code base, uh, so they use Redis O, which is also a service provided by Redis, which is amazing. It's like ORM for Redis. And initially, when you're dealing with when you are dealing with searchable items and all, we would need to create something called index. So to create the Redis index, we can also use Next.js API slash create index. So next, these are API and anything else which is under API is a serverless function in Next.js. So this is nothing but a serverless function that gets executed when you hit the endpoint. So this would be needed to do only once, like whenever you make changes to your schema. So here I just make a schema, a small schema, and then when you create an index and with creating short link and getting a short link, this is very simple. And best part, it also supports type safety with TypeScript, which is amazing. So on a top level, like a bird eye view, this is a database schema diagram. So it has all the short links and how the account links to the user, how the session links to the user, how the verification token links, how the analytics links, all this stuff. So analytics, how we save is also we save per use per every user times every time a user visits, it's a new row in the database. The reason for this is in the future scope, if you want to add more details and more attributes, which is also always possible by adding like more fields here. That is another reason uh, we are using every analytic click as a row. So apart from that, we use Nextauth for the sign up process. Here I'm using All0 as a sign up client. So one advantage which we get over this is it's always scalable. So whenever you need, you can always add more providers to All0. For example, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google, and so many other providers. So it's always great to have multiple options open. So that's a plus point which we have when using All0. Uh, and one thing which I wanted to appreciate is it also supports something like date formats, which is amazing, like crazy to work at JavaScript world, but even Redis supports date format, which is great. And also, when you create an index, right, which we discussed, the create index function, is to create index something like this. Everything, it's all visualization with the help of Redis Insight tool, which is a great way to visualize your data. Yeah, so these are all like IDs, URLs, created, and all those things. And you always have an option to refresh the data, multiple things. So, so yeah, this is a very basic initial version right now, but there are future scopes which can be added, and Redis baked into the whole ecosystem. And as I said, the Redis search and Redis JSON are already being used here, and soon we'll be use other features also, which is great. So yep, so that's pretty much it from my side about the hackathon. And thank you for giving an opportunity to participate in this hackathon. It was a wonderful learning experience with the Redis, and the Redis cloud also made it very simple to set up Redis and upgoing. Initially, I remember those days where we need to set up for setting up Redis, we need to spin up Docker containers. It was crazy. So, but yeah, Redis cloud is something very powerful, and I could see the impact it would create in the uh, ecosystem. And other thing which I forgot to point out is this also works without logging in, but just that you won't be able to see your saved links. So even if you like want to create a new link, it always works in even if you're not logged in. For example, if you see you're not signed in, uh, so this one, but you can always create a link. And I just want to create, let's say, 10 GitHub, something like that. Create a short link, and it this would also work. So just that you would also get analytics, but for that, right, you won't be able to see it there because uh, that is somewhere because we would need ID for the analytics, and the analytics ID is not visible over there. This is 6. This is yeah. We would need analytics ID for that. Like 7 is the analytics ID. So if you want to go for the analytics thing, like slash analytics, and so you only have one. You would have only one view for now. Yeah, the graph doesn't look good one view, but the yeah even the writing and everything is very customized one. So to uh, give users experience or some do something like xcali draw and tl draw. So yeah, that's pretty much it in submission, and yeah, thank you so much for giving the opportunity.